Okay, let's get this thing started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and tonight we're going to have a sit down, have a little talk about the latest Christmas offering, the Return of Doctor Mysterio. In order to save time, we got a ton of people here. I'm going to go around, ask you to intro yourself, and immediately, please just go into your opening thoughts regarding this particular episode, all right? Joining us, well, for the first time, let's start with Sam. You go right on ahead. All right, don't forget to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Hello.
Go ahead.
All right. Any thoughts?
So my thoughts on the episode, it was very good. I did like it. I'm sorry for that. I did like it. So for me, it was cool. It could be better, not.
In other words, we've seen worse.
Yes.
Okay, AJ.
Are you guys from Land Down Under? I didn't mind this episode. It sort of hit all the different little things: comedy, action, a bit of romance, heroes and whatnot, with a bit of an explosion maybe. Overall, I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Okay, William.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Well, we waited a whole year for a new episode of Doctor Who to return. So how I feel about this one, I'm going to say is not terrible, but then again, it's not great. But I feel like talking to the guys before we started recording, I felt like was any mention or tribute was made that, since this copied a little bit or maybe a lot from the Superman myth and other comic book characters that we all grew up reading or watching cartoons of, which it hasn't been done. But the thing is, was the weird thing about this is we find out in this episode that River Song has passed. So that means over 24 years have passed. That since the Doctor returned to Earth. Even though he has returned to the present time, to himself, it's been 24 years. So this really stood out. Now, when we get into the nitpick other stuff, we're going to talk about how Nardo and the ghosts and other characters made out in this episode like that. But the opening statement, I'm going to say like this, it was not bad, but then again, it wasn't great. So let's leave it like that.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. All right, Jason, go ahead.
Actually, I quite enjoyed the story. I mean, definitely comedy with it. Nardo definitely improved. I mean, since he wasn't really that much good last time, but in a way, Nardo's kind of more like the eagle of the Doctor, for the Doctor. But definitely interested in seeing the half-face aliens again, as I call them. But yeah, very interesting how that all works out, the whole brain situation. But yeah, the whole situation how it builds up with the kid and Grant, who becomes a superhero. And yeah, I find it very interesting. Definitely enjoyed it. Doctor definitely has a great performance. That's pretty much what I'm going to say.
Okay, Vil, with a V. Are you there?
Stepped off.
Okay, we'll come back to you later. Carol, go ahead.
Hello. I'm probably going to be like one of the minorities, but I loved everything about it. I judge Doctor Who episodes by the entertainment factor, and I don't nitpick about any other things about it. I just don't have the time and the, and the like patience to like really nitpick compared to other episodes and continuity factors or anything. But I loved it. It had everything for 1 hour of escaping reality. It had everything: superheroes, creepy brain monster thingies, comedy. I mean, Capaldi and Lucas were great. I mean, I would actually like it if that was the formula for a whole season where Doctor and Companion and Skip having all these other people on there. I mean, I just loved it. It was great fun, and for me, it was a perfect A+, and it surpassed my favorite Christmas special, which was Runaway Bride. So, I loved it.
And by the way, I can confirm for the BBC that no, the brain creatures have nothing to do with Krang nor Dimension X. All right, Matt Rose.
You're on mute.
You gotta unmute yourself, Matt.
Oh no, sorry, the button got a bit stuck. Well, we had Super Grant, Super Nanny, Nanny McPhee, or whatever you like to call the ghost. I really enjoyed it. It's been a year since the Husbands of River song. It's the follow-on, and it's brilliant. I loved everything about it. Same with Caroline. I was going in a bit iffy on Nardole, but we'll get to that in a bit, but I loved it. It's one, in fact, I would say, I dare say it, and some might not like it, but I do believe this is one of Moffat's best that he's wrote in a long while. And I very much would look forward to next year, but we'll get on to that later.
Okay, Philip.
Okay, mixed bag with this one. I did like it. It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It was a bit. It was nice and fuzzy. But I do like the shift of Capaldi. He had a mixed persona of a softer side with a hint of sardonic rebuttal, which I liked about that. He was kind of nice. The villains, I don't know whether they were any. They didn't really. What's the word I'm looking for? They weren't really heavy in episode. It's like they weren't there. If you know what I mean. Because it was more centered on the ghost's relationship with the woman, and they were just a side piece. So they didn't do any much of an impact for me. Nardo, I think, stole the show for me. Although everyone expected him to be a bit of a, he was very well done. And if they keep that kind of balance with him throughout next season, then I'd be happy to have him in the show. And anything else? I like the cinematography. That was nice with the New York sky or Manhattan skyline. And I did like the bits where Nardo was explaining about the doctor's standards about the song. That was nicely done as well.
Okay, Graham.
Hey guys, how we doing? For me, yeah, it was enjoyable enough. Nice, fluffy outing on Christmas Day. I don't expect anything too heavy when it comes to a Christmas episode. Is it the best? No, but it's with regards to Nardo, I'm quite happy with him. He's definitely got some layers there now, whereby he's childlike 1 minute, he's got a wee bit of intelligence the next. And this is what happens, folks, when you prejudge something based on something that was supposed to be just a once only at the time. Let's see what happens with him in season 10. The Ghost and Grant, nice blend of Chris Reeves, Superman, and Adam West Batman for me, in terms of when he's the Ghost. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. Good outing.
Okay, Lady Neo.
Hello, everybody. I just finished watching The Husbands of River song. And I can feel it. I feel for him. I feel for the doctor, how the sadness and everything he's going through and trying to overcome in this episode. But you still see he's still breathing and everything. Now the episode itself, while it's a nice change to the franchise, it's very enjoyable to watch during this holiday season. You got all the superheroes, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Homecoming coming up. It's a nice, nice little fluff to say, hey, look, we're Doctor Who. We can do it too. So yeah, it's a nice fluffy thing. Nothing too serious. Maybe. Might be a little down the line. But so far, it's not bad.
Okay, moving on. Anthony, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with pretty much everyone on this panel. It was, I want my hour back. I want to sue the BBC for actually putting out probably one of the worst Christmas episodes in any of their shows, not just Doctor Who, but any Christmas. I mean, it was atrocious. A sad, pathetic ripoff of the WB sets of shows, and Doctor Who just did not pull it off. I mean, Capaldi's a wonderful actor, but I found the episode to be lacking in pretty much everything. Costume, set design, storyline. I mean, you know, even the bad guy was, you know, the typical generic bad guy. So, yeah, I have nothing good to say about this episode whatsoever.
Okay, Susan. Gotta unmute yourself, Susan.
Oh, me. Oh, my goodness. Well, hello. And nice to see everybody. Let's see. I really loved it. Disagreeing with Anthony, but loved every second of it. It was wonderful. My hour was well spent. My time. It's a pleasure to be part of a fandom that is differing in opinion, though. And I liked Nardole, and I liked Grant and Ghost. I thought that was great, and I just have, you know, I just want to, you know, medicine. Take your medicine. It's good for you. It may make you fly. Okay, bye.
Yeah, take the funny red rock that the strange old man on the roof hands you.
You can get arrested for that in some states.
Okay, Phil, you ready? You got to unmute yourself, Phil.
I thought that I did. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Well.
Okay, all we got was Will. I think his Wi-Fi cut out.
I'm going to kind of mirror Anthem that this episode sucked. Oh, fucking hell. Hello?
You're back. Go ahead. Keep going. All right, now he's going. Oh, well, it happens. As soon as we can get you a stabler connection, we'll get back to you, Bill. All right, moving on. Elijah.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this story. Let's start off at the beginning where you have the doctor swinging upside down over that boy's bedroom. And
am I?
Hang on. We'll get back to you, Bill.
Go ahead.
Okay, so anyways, back to that scene where the doctor's swinging upside down and the little boy opens his window and the doctor's like, hey, can I come in? He's like, let me go ask my mom first, and shuts the window. I thought that was hilarious. Then Nardole absolutely loved him when he's like, excuse me, can you show me where the little boy's room is? Don't you mean the restroom? Why would I want to rest? Thought that was hilarious. It was nice how they kind of wrapped up River's thing a little bit more. Monster was pretty okay. And then also that Nardole knows how to fly the TARDIS. I think that's kind of cool. And also kind of another little thing is kind of a spin on last year's special where the doctor keeps saying, trying to give hints to River that he's the doctor. Well, it's kind of the same way as how Grant was trying to give hints to that girl, sort of like he was the superhero without actually saying it. And also I got a vibe kind of like young Amelia Pond at the beginning, sort of. So I enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. Vil, let's try this again.
All right. Can we hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay. So if this was styled like the classics, where it was done in serials, and it was a continuation of every other steaming pile of crap that Moffat has given us, it would be called Doctor Who and the Steaming Turd episode, insert whatever hell the number it would be after you tally all of his other bad episodes. That being said, while I didn't like it, it wasn't, I'm going to say it wasn't one of the worst Christmas episodes. I mean, hell, I managed to forget about others on purpose. But it did have some things I would take away that were good. For example, I think that Nargle, or I'm bad with names, but headless dude that got his head back, he was actually an interesting character. But, you know, it's pretty bad that that's really the most good I can say about it. I just felt like the writing wasn't very good. I didn't feel if they were trying to do what the CW did, but I did when I was watching it right from the beginning go, oh my God, DC's going to sue the living hell out of you. and then the one thing that Moffat did, where I know he was just patting himself on the back like a big gorilla going, oh, I'm so funny, I'm so funny, was when he decided to have the little boy use a Jeff Murdoch line out of Coupling. Now, Coupling was actually a really funny show, but him patting himself on the back to tell the audience how damn funny he is, I just wanted to reach out with the force and choke him, and fortunately for him, reality doesn't work that way.
Okay, we have another dissenter in the mix. Arr. Okay, Matt Rose, go ahead. Wait, we did Matt already, didn't we?
Matt, you have Alex and Tim left.
Okay, all right, sorry, my order got screwed up and everyone started popping in and out. Okay, let's go to Alex.
Okay, yeah, I sort of like it, not exactly. I was worried about the superhero element. I don't understand why it has to be, because I watched Doctor Who because I thought he was sort of the superhuman or alternate human. That being said, I did enjoy it. The villain wasn't anything scary or anything like that. Nardole, whatever his pronunciation is, he wasn't as irritating or annoying as he was in the Christmas special from last year with the River Song in it. They did talk about her. They did talk about other characters. There's a lot of quick lines. I understand what Villa's saying with the Murdoch line, because I have quite a bit of Coupling episodes myself, so I recognized it right away. I mean, it wasn't bad. If I'd have to rate it 1 to 5, with 1 being bad and 5 being great, I'd probably give it a 3.7.
They definitely land.
Yeah, we'll get the rating it later. All right, Texas Tim, go ahead.
Well, this is the 12th Christmas special, and I would say at this point it's probably getting pretty hard to come up with new ideas for Christmas. So why not, we live in the golden age of superhero TV shows and movies pretty much at this point, because you can't turn around without running into one of them. And I don't see why Doctor Who can't have a stab at it just for a little fun. It is a Christmas episode. It's made to be slightly disposable, I would say. And it ticks all the boxes. Like others have said, it's pretty funny in a lot of bits. It's got a little bit of romance. It's pretty much a pastiche of a Batman kind of Superman kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it was a lot of fun. It was a good way to pass an hour on Christmas Day. And as usual, Capaldi was awesome. Lucas was good. I don't have a problem with him. I'm really not sure why everybody hates him so much, but I thought he was a good addition to the cast, and we'll see where they go from here. But I enjoyed it pretty much.
Okay, let's start off with Nardole. Yeah, I actually, thought they did a better job writing him in this particular episode. They gave him a little more to work with, and he and Capaldi seemed to bounce off each other pretty good. I actually got a good vibe out of those two put together. All right, anyone else want to hop on that?
Yeah, I got something right here. I was like, from last year, I wasn't expecting him to be a very good character used in this story, but he really stood out, especially realizing that he wasn't, let's say, a Nardole from before last year's Christmas, but he was a person that appears after River left, and then the doctor was so lonely that he built the head of body for he could have company. That's why Nardole was telling him, "You built me because you didn't want to be alone," and he was telling him this straight out. And that's what that little conversation that they were having in the TARDIS that really stood out, because like when he was in the place before the ghost showed up, you see him a little funny, almost like an innocent kid that see things and wonder for the first time. But when he was alone with the doctor, they talk real serious, and he knows how to use the TARDIS because you see them knowing which buttons there is and all that. So he really stood out, and I like that because that's something like that we haven't seen in a while. That somebody talked to the doctor straight without like insulting him or demeaning him. So he could talk to him straight, person to person, saying, "You built me because you're lonely. And in a way, you have to deal with this for that. And I'm not gonna live forever for like you could, because you're a Time Lord." That character stood out. So hopefully,
I would say he's kind of like K9. He's got kind of a K9 relationship.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, to all of us, we see K9 as a pet. Yeah, he's a robot. He's very smart, and that's the way we also see him. But a lot of people just see him as a pet. But Nardole is, even though he's an android, you see him as a person that would talk to the doctor straight away.
We don't know he's an android. He rescued him from that too.
But he said, I built you a body for your head.
Well, he put his head back on, so
He put his head on a cyborg body.
Well, he just said he glued his head back on. We really don't know if he's organic or android or not yet. They'll probably go into that later, maybe.
That is,
Makes it sound like the Doctor's Frankenstein right there.
that is the one little nit because I get the vibe. What did the Doctor do? Did he bring Nada on board and said, right, sit down, I'm going to tell you my whole life story? It's like he's never done it during another convention before. Sit down and tell him the whole life story because he knows about River Song, he knows about he's a Time Lord, and
well, he was kind of there.
The Doctor spent 24 years with River on that last episode. He actually spent 24 years with her.
Yeah, but why would he sit? Yeah, but why would he sit down with choose not and tell him the whole life?
All right, Phil, I'm going to dispense you.
Come on.
I'm going to dispense your theory right now. He's apparently an android, correct?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Maybe one at a time. Maybe his memory bank can manipulate into the TARDIS somehow and get the timeline stuff. You don't know. This is the first episode. Calm the hell down.
No, I'm just saying.
Jason made a good point, though, because if you think about it here, it really does make sense for them to go that way. And, like I said, I didn't like the episode, but this is a pretty decent character. And as far as the head glue goes, who in the hell knows what Time Lords have been doing? And him being Frankenstein, stop and think about that a second. You do know, if you talk to a lot of people that are familiar with Mary Shelley and Percy Shelley, they'll all tell you that most likely Percy Shelley, not Mary, actually wrote Frankenstein. Well, maybe the Doctor and this character will meet Percy Shelley, and we'll see. And Percy Shelley will have seen how his head was glued on, and there you go. Maybe the Doctor is Dr. Frankenstein, or at least the inspiration for him.
Who's already been there?
Well, the eighth Doctor have met Mary Shelley.
Sorry, let's go to Susan, then we'll go to AJ.
I just love the fact that Nardole was flying the TARDIS because very, very few companions and other people have been in the know about that. And then there was the whole thing where he was the ruler of Byzantium for a while. He ruled well. I mean, here he shows up in this wonderful kit, and then he's like, I ruled Byzantium, or ruled Constantinople. I was like, awesome!
He looked like the Celestial Toy Maker, almost.
Yeah, true.
Okay, AJ.
For the whole thing with Nardle's head in his body, don't forget, first episode of Class, he gave that guy a new leg as well. So he could have grown a new body for Nardole. He could have given him an android body. He could have found his old body and just stuck it back on. Whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it's back.
Okay, Anthony, you got to say something to say?
Yeah. Okay. Susan did point out something that really I noticed right off the bat was his piloting. He turned the brake off, and then the Doctor turned the brake back on to get that noise. And I just thought that was a nice callback to her song, basically giving them the finger on the brake too. That was a nice callback.
I didn't like that though, because that means every Time Lord is flying the TARDIS wrong for who knows how many millennia.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they all like that sound.
Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was a joke on River's part. You never know. You don't have to take every line literally. It's Doctor Who.
Well, you did, because that's how they're playing it out.
Not always. Just the idea that he says, I glued your head on. That's a joke. He didn't glue the guy's head back on. He actually did something. We don't know if he's a cyborg. We don't know if he just rescued the body somehow from that contraption. We're not even sure. And chances are they're not going to tell us at the end of the day. It's Nardole. He's here to stay for a little bit. So there you go.
That's just a cop out.
No, it's not. Yeah. No, it's not. It's Doctor. They've never given you. Okay, where the fuck was Chameleon for? What happened to him? He joined the crew and then disappeared and didn't come back till he left, and the Doctor killed him.
That's because he was a chameleon.
He was on the wall.
My theory is he did like Crichton and his head took a vacation down in one of the other storerooms.
Oh.
Isn't it true that, like I said, throwaway line, you don't have to take everything literally or totally seriously. And sometimes the line is just to be eccentric, or it's a joke, or it's a certain flair. You don't have to say that it happened. Yeah, sorry.
It's a TV show. Yeah.
Besides, this whole episode was a rip-off of a previous production. I've got the proof, man.
Oh, that's it.
It's right here. Look at this.
Jockey, where's my body?
Sorry, I had to throw that in to lighten things up a little bit. So, yeah, it's already been pretty much confirmed Nardal's going to be here for the duration of Series 10 in one bit or another. And if they can keep this same chemistry up that they had in this episode, it's going to be an interesting Series 10. Because I thought, okay, Nardal's just this annoying dude who appeared in the Husbands of River song. I'm like, oh, my God, they're going to waste an entire season on this guy. But now that I've seen how these two interact together, on this level, it's actually quite entertaining. I actually get a kick out of it.
See, that's the thing, Brian. People were putting too much emphasis on last year's appearance.
Yeah.
When that was supposed to be a one and done, one type deal until Lucas has to come back.
But is there a danger that with Nardal being that kind of character, it's going to be comedy overkill along with Pearl?
See, there you go. You're assuming again.
Along with Pearl Mackie being somewhat comedy-ish as well in a persona, so there'll be two comedy type companions, which make it a bit comedy over.
Doctor Who has always had a bit of comedy in it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny stuff, Philip.
Part of the deal, and that's what he is. He's comic relief, probably. He seems like he's the Doctor's right-hand guy, sort of thing. Yeah. Like, look at him. Look at him. He sends him away. He comes back. He went to Byzantium and did all that, and still came back in time to land on the Doctor and pull him out of that. So I mean, it's. That's what he is. He's pretty much comic relief companion.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just worried that they're going to have too much comedy overkill with the two of the companions.
To be fair, mate, you're basing that on a 1 minute trailer with Pearl Mackie.
No. Well, yeah,
you are.
Yeah, well, yeah, in a sense, but you got enough gist of what character she is. You saw that kind of like.
Really? You've got 13 episodes, and you're going to make an assumption on 1 minute.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the big thing. There's going to be the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Okay, not until we see how Nardal interacts with Bill Potts are we going to see how this whole season's going to be shaped. Okay, so we've got a while yet to wait before we see how Nardal and Bill get along, and it's going to be interesting to see how that relationship turns out.
Well, you get the impression as well that maybe there's a couple of Nardal Light episodes because he wasn't in that trailer very much, was he? And we only just found out a couple of weeks ago that he's actually in the whole series up until whatever point they decide that they need to change things up. But what I'm saying is that you never know. He might if you look at that trailer, you mostly see the Doctor with Bill, right? So I mean,
yeah.
And most of the time when we've seen set photographs, that's what we've seen, the Doctor and Bill. We haven't really seen Nardal except a couple of times later. So,
and I don't think he's going to be in it that much because he put on his that little Twitter feed thing that he had. He basically said, "I just got done filming a few scenes." So, he may not be in it. He may be in it he may be in quite a few episodes, but it may only be a minute. Maybe he's going to be in the TARDIS, and when Bill and the Doctor take off and do their thing, Nardo will be taking off in the TARDIS doing his thing, and then they'll meet up. I mean, we don't know.
Or maybe he changes his name to Bill after he regenerates.
I think that's another reason he's going to be a bit like K9. He's a kind of an occasional companion, but sometimes he just stays in the TARDIS doing whatever it is he does. You know what I mean? He's not going to be in every story.
I do believe there's an ultimate end to Nardal in season 10. There's something about him that might tell a story throughout season 10. And then we'll get
Good. I love that stuff.
Well, if you're right, Phil, fair enough, but it'll likely be the C plot.
Yeah, because you've got to give Pearl Mackie her limelight along the way. So, yeah.
You're just offended because it turns out she works in a chippy shop.
Yeah. Have a battered sausage, please, Governor.
Oh, man. Okay, let's talk about Grant, aka the Ghost. So, anyone want to start off on him a little bit? Because I found him, I thought this whole episode altogether was a nice Bill, what are you doing down there? Okay. Was a nice tribute to comic books and comic book characters in general. You were talking, it was definitely aiming at, Christopher Reeve Superman. It was definitely aiming at a little bit of Adam West thrown in. And, to me, it was just an overall tribute to comic book, heroes. And, because they have become a big part of the mainstream entertainment media right now.
Yep.
They really have. And
But
so,
you know what, Brian? I think it would have worked better if it was set in the land of fiction. And then you can make that superhero believable in a sense because it's in the land of fiction.
They got an hour, Phil. They got an hour to play with. They got to make it quick.
Yeah, classic.
You can still set it in that kind of scenario rather than having a real world interface because it doesn't. There's no real world heroes at all.
Okay, I gotta go
Phil,
devil's advocate. You classical Whovian fans would say that. Okay.
Phil, if you're saying that, there's not going to be a superhero in the real world. There's not going to be a TARDIS flying around. Is there?
Oh, I don't think I understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, you do have to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief. Okay, go ahead. You've had your hand going there. You want to say something? Okay, I thought you had your hand up. I'm sorry.
What, me?
Anthony.
Oh, well, I do have something if I can.
Go ahead.
The beginning part when Grant was a child and he was talking with the doctor, those child moments, it felt kind of like, you remember kind of like that whole mentor kind of thing going on there for a little bit when he met him in high school. That part was very adorable. Those scenes were nice. I did find him a little annoying when he first met his powers and everything like that. But the part with him, Jennifer, the little baby, and I forgot her name. I'm going to call her plain clone. Yep, there we go, Lucy. Those parts were downright funny, sad at the same time, sad and funny at the same time. And the pain at the end when they did the window pane, the comic book, like the choppy comic book thing, that was spot on. That's basically what that whole thing was about.
Well, I think you forget that the doctor is very good with kids. I mean, whenever he has the opportunity to have a scene with young kids, he's always very good with them. Like he treats them like adults. Like he's like, oh yeah, what do you think about? You know what I mean? You don't get to see that very often in Doctor Who that he's with children. I mean,
he even did that in Forest of the Dead.
Yeah.
Forest of the Night.
What did he say to that kid? How old are you? 35 or something like that? And it was like,
he doesn't get it. He still doesn't get it.
Another thing with the school scene with the lockers, how much you want to bet they just reused one of the class sets?
Well, why not? They're set up already and available. Why not?
Yeah.
I found that hysterical though in that scene where he can't hide the X-ray vision, and to avoid, shall we say, revealing a Woody, he levitates. It's hysterical, yes.
And you know what I really liked about that whole story arc? I loved it. As soon as I realized the doctor was dealing with a little kid on Christmas, I mean, I knew I was going to enjoy it. I mean, like Elijah said, that whole scene with him swinging back and forth at the window and everything like that. And then he comes in and he's like, "You're expected," and then. The kid
thinks he's Santa.
The kid gives him the milk and cookies, and the doctor's like, "Ho ho ho!" I mean, I knew it was going to be great, and I just think, I don't take things too seriously. Sometimes I do, but most of the time, I don't, because this is entertainment, and I just thought this whole thing with Grant and the Ghost was an perfect parody, tongue-in-cheek type thing off of Superman, whatever one you want to enjoy, whether it's Adam West or Reeve, whatever, it really doesn't matter. Superman is Superman, and it's a cool parody off of it, and I just thought it was great, especially like you guys have said, our whole world lately, entertainment world, is based on Marvel and DC, so why can't Doctor Who incorporate a super world mentality? I mean, a superhero mentality, especially with that globe at the top of the building. I mean, that's just like with what is it with
Daily Planet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's a TV show. It's entertainment. Hey, look at Doctor Who meets Superman.
Okay, AJ, you had your hand up for like
I love this
don't exist.
Okay, AJ's had his hand up for like forever. So
you're right. I was going to say, just be happy the fact that he was actually reading probably about Superman instead of Wolverine. Could you imagine him getting the claws as he's just a kid, screaming with blood everywhere and all that?
But Wolverine was there in the poster from all the art that John Byrne did.
I know, I did see that.
Okay.
Also,
Go ahead. I
was going to say, I like the fact that also the gemstone draws power from our sun. So it's also a little nod and a wink to Superman as well, because he draws his power from the sun as well.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked too was they didn't paint around the eyes on the mask, because that is always ridiculous when they do that in superhero movies. It looks stupid. But that's it.
Okay, all right. How many here damn near wet your pants with the scene with, what was it, Mr. Huffle or whatever it was?
Oh, Mr. Huffle. The unsung hero of this episode, man. Mr. Huffle, I salute you. Oh, man.
Way, man.
And he feels pain.
It hurt my ears.
Oh, man.
The look on Capaldi's face when he was looking at that thing made me damn near fall over out of my chair.
He should have manifested Dr. Tucker in that moment.
Somebody's going to do that on YouTube.
How adorable. How fun.
I was going to say, how much did Mr. Huffle look like Tennant with the hair and all that?
And it sounded like a beaker. Me, 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 me.
Like Beaker, yeah. Kind of a knockoff of Beaker from Muppet Labs. Okay, anything else we want to bring up?
I'm so glad for new Doctor Who.
All right, Camden, dearie.
Okay, Matt just threw his hand up. Go ahead, Matt.
Hello. I did like Unit came back in this one. And also
nice observation. Yep.
Which definitely opening for the.
I have something.
Go ahead, Bill.
He's
I think he's going in and out.
He's in that shit. Holy crap.
If I was going to take away a point or anything, it would just be the silliness with the gun in the head. That's just kind of stupid.
Yeah, no, got pockets, man. Put it in the pocket. Put it in there.
Yeah, that was a bit extreme. The gun in the head. That was a bit silly.
It just seemed kind of silly, just so they could do the split head thing. They could have done without that, I think.
Okay,
Aliens are going to look what happened to that member of Unit.
We got the tail end of that, Val. Try again.
I think he's lagging.
Okay. What I said was, I think that those aliens will be reoccurring in the season. Look what happened.
Well, I don't see a reason why.
The unit.
Well, when the guy was dressed as a unit, so he might try to be a spy in unit. So
but
they didn't do that.
And of course, we got the Osgood mention. Yes.
Yes.
I've got to say though, quote of the episode for me was when it was the guy at the institute, the second guy to get brain swapped.
Yeah. The black guy, yeah.
The cowards, they don't want to be racist there, Phil. Thank you. You're one of the brothers. You can get away with that. I loved it at the end, but he's like, so Doctor, you think this is over? Screwdriver, bang, yes. Your plan's gone, your bum's gone, there goes Unit, and someone needs changes. She's not the only one that's full of it.
Yeah, that was great.
And the saddest part of this whole thing, it wasn't that poor brain bashing with a hatchet movie that got ripped off. Somebody else obviously did.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I got timestamps, Moffat. Okay.
One more reference. Pokemon Go reference.
Oh God, I knew that was coming.
The Tokyo residents. They were like, I just put a whole bunch of Pokemon downstairs. I was like, really, Doctor?
I got a laugh out of that too. I really did.
What I liked was it reminded me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers with swapping screens. I thought it was a really clever, sort of sneaky alien attack.
Another bit I loved though was the bit when they took the fella into the vault to show him the brains, and she's eavesdropping. And then it cuts to him and he's eavesdropping and he's eating his sushi.
Can I read what Phil said?
Go for it.
Oh, go ahead. I
Phil
was
said
about to.
Missy will find one of those questionable looking TCEs and she'll shrink them down. And then he said the aliens will be recurring. They're in unit. That one villain, the one who was going on about how bad he was, the badass the building was, he couldn't have been more Nazi if he was screaming, "See Kyle!" I almost saw the fucking Red Skull come in. The only thing that would have been more realistic. Oh, that's a different.
That's Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know what Graham was saying, but it is funny how he always has food in his pocket now. Like, yeah, he gave the guy a burger as well. Just throw him on.
Glass of water.
A glass of milk, or
And
water.
a glass of water, yes.
How did you keep it in your pocket? Very well.
I will give Justin Chatwin his due. As I mentioned earlier, when it came to the Ghost, you had a variation of Adam West Batman and Chris Reeves Superman. But when it came to Grant, for me, you had a variation of Chris Reeves Clark Kent, and I'd say maybe we had Dash at Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
He's like running and he falls over.
Yeah.
I'm the nanny.
I didn't understand why you have to keep changing his voice, though, because you can't really tell someone from the sound of their voice.
Yes, you can, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil, by the way, Phil, you just reminded me of another scene I loved, the bit when he's on the phone here in the kitchen and he's walking about the house going, and the facial expressions he's pulling while he's listening to this phone conversation. No, is this really happening? Fantastic, man.
Okay, so anything else before we move on? Oh, go ahead, Tim.
No, Jason.
Yeah.
The one thing is with the doctor is like sneaking up on the reporter woman. Is like I feel sorry for later on the reporter woman how they ask so many questions to the doctor.
Mr. Huffle.
Oh, is Mr. Huffle now an official companion?
He could be.
Oh, dear,
It's
man.
better than Fuzzy Dice.
No, he came in the tabs at the end.
I don't think that's a good idea.
He can use them as a torture device for the invading aliens and whatnot. He feels pain.
I think that he's a torture device that requires KY jelly. Let's not put
Oh,
it.
God.
God.
Well,
I really will be screaming.
Just because it says KY doesn't mean it's made in Kentucky. Okay, for you guys who didn't like it, this was already making the rounds earlier today.
yeah, I read that earlier.
Oh, come on.
It wasn't boring. There was a lot in there.
No, it wasn't.
I think they're being way, way, way too harsh because I have seen far worse programming. I really have.
I thought that it was shit, and I wouldn't call it boring. I mean, it was at least I was watching Doctor Who, but it just wasn't good. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I was bored.
Yeah, they even throw some tweets in there like, so my colleagues and I just turned off Doctor Who in the bar as it was the most boring episode ever.
Well, you don't watch it at
Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
This quote seems to remind me of something someone's been saying. This doesn't feel right. It doesn't even feel like Doctor Who. Not impressed at all.
Hey, Philip, are you starting a new movie?
Man, are you back?
Yeah.
What did they cut off the part where she says bring back David Tennant?
That sounded like Morris.
But yeah,
Because to some people, that's all Doctor Who is, David Tennant. And
Yeah.
his kid brother, Matt Smith. You know,
His kid brother.
I mean, if that's what your idea of Doctor Who is, I'm sorry. There's a lot more to it than that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
okay.
This
Here we
episode is more pandering to the younger audience anyway.
Now, a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people are going to look at that number and go, "Oh God, that's horrible."
No, it's not.
Look at the figures. A 27.1% share puts Doctor Who as the number 7 on the day overall, and considering the lineup,
Woo! It
That's-
beat the Queen.
exactly, you still beat the frickin' Queen, who is dressed like a Starfleet officer.
Hey, it beat Frozen, so there you go.
Look, guys, I'm going to let it go. The minute people realise that ratings don't mean shit these days, the lot easier their life will be.
Not to mention, all these
true.
No, all these have significantly dropped from what they would normally be on a Christmas day, though. Also, Strictly Come Butt Licking, not a whole lot, but still. But still, look, the Great Christmas Bake Off only got 6.3 million viewers, and
fuck that shit. Here's my
the Brown Boys, who gives a flying rat's ass about them, only got 6.1 million.
Now, I have to tell you, I did not have spectators for my Bake Off. Thank you very much.
Well, like I said, look at all the stuff it beat out. It beat out freaking Emmerdale, The Queen's Speech, Frozen.
Actually, Bill, your Bake Off would be a hell of a lot more interesting than that crap, man. You know.
But it shouldn't matter anyway.
So to speak. Bake Off, so to speak.
And that's just rough estimates. You'll get the final figure next Sunday and it'll be up now.
Maybe there it is. Okay, now I can bring it up. Yeah. So look at this. Yeah, Strictly Come Butt Licking, that's not exactly unpredicted. They always, reality shows always score big. Great Christmas Bake Off, not unexpected. Like I said, number 7, at 5.7 million viewers is not bad at all, considering it made it into the top 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
The early viewing is a better time slot for it on Christmas, because that's what they did last year. It was the same slot, wasn't it? Remember a couple of years ago when it was on very late, like it was on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
something like
7:30. Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Dude, I don't even know it matters on Christmas. Just throwing it out there to be.
And we won't even touch on this nonsense.
I know that fucking.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about Unit is that they came back and they're awesome again. And I just got one thing to say: Caden Osgood.
Yeah, absolutely.
He seems to have
a surprise. They did get a bit appearance here, but
not the first time he just called them up at the end and said, "Having clean up."
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay, tell you what. Let's rate this sucker. We're going to put it to bed, and then we're going to talk very briefly about the Series 10 trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off. All the way here at the bottom, my bottom right corner. Let's start with Alex. Out of 10, how do you rate this particular little piece of entertainment? Go ahead. All right, maybe he's taking a whiz. Okay, Texas Tim.
I gave it a 9.5. It did what it set out to do, was to entertain you for an hour on Christmas Day. Doctor Who is a Christmas tradition at this point, and this is the 12th one in so many years, and it's something you look forward to. It's not always going to be the best episode of the year, but it's an hour of fun on a Christmas day. So there you go, 9.5.
Well, in this case, the only episode of the year.
I already feel the hairs raising on the back of my neck. I go, Vil with a V. Out of 10, how do you rate this episode?
3.5. It's not the worst.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't rate it down there with Love and Monsters, but yeah, about a 3.5, and that half is just because it deserves a couple of good mentions that I already gave it. All in all, it could have been better, but even saying that, I'm glad that we at least got something, because holy hell, a whole year of no Doctor Who.
Okay, that's 3 more points than I thought you were going to give it. All right, Elijah.
I'm going to have to give this one a 9 out of 10 because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
All right, Matt Rose.
I'm very excited for Series 10, but I also love this, so I'm going to score it a 9.5. It's the only Doctor this year on TV, and it was very enjoyable and entertained me.
All right, Susan.
I will give it a 10 out of 10 because I loved it, and it was Christmas, and it had superheroes, and I'm just totally geeked out these days about superheroes.
All right, Anthony.
Well, I'm going to give it a 1 because it had the title of Doctor Who. Short of that, I can't rate it any higher than that without vomiting or lying to the public. I mean, it was, at this point, the lowest rated Christmas episode ever from Doctor Who. And the last 3 years, they've progressively gotten lower and lower in viewership. I'm not going to contribute that to Capaldi or the showrunners or anything. I'm thinking it's more just Doctor Who it's hit its peak and it's started to peter out, and it's having real tough competition nowadays for viewership with other shows. But yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a 1.
Oh my God! You
One for you for wasting your time on a show you don't actually.
Yeah, I thoroughly admit that this was I really want to sue BBC for this hour of my life.
Yeah, good luck with that.
It was.
That was your
in the
problem watching it.
It wasn't in the top 3 worst episodes in Doctor Who history. For me personally, I don't know what is, because I did not enjoy this episode at all. I enjoyed Capaldi's little sushi skit, and that was about it.
Wow,
everything else I thought tacky, and you could see what was coming.
You rated this lower than that lying bitch in the wardrobe?
Woo! Well, no, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe I actually gave a lot higher. I enjoyed that episode, and it nearly made me cry. I thought that episode was, short of End of Time, I think that was one of my favorite top 3 of the Christmas specials for Doctor Who. Yeah, it was very sentimental.
I want to cry right now.
Okay, let's move on to Lady Neil.
Let's see, what am I going to give this one? I'm going to give it an 8.5. 8.5 out of 10, Mom.
You heard it from Mama Neil, a 10.
She gives it a 10. She gives it a 10 out of 10. She
Amen, Mama Neil.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I heard what Mama said. You better listen to it.
And I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Anyways, we thoroughly liked what we saw.
A 10 out of 10 is like the Keeper of Traken or the Invasion of Time. That's not a 10 out of 10.
10.5 in. Mama, 10.5. Sorry, we really liked it. And we got our fix. Back to you guys.
Okay, Grant.
You know what? I just say it's not the best story ever written, but at the same time, it's Christmas. I enjoyed it. To hell with the world. And I got to drink beer and have a laugh for an hour. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
All right, Philip.
I'm going to give it a 7 purely because the narrative story, we've seen it all before about Superman and stuff like that, so we know the story, so there was no surprise for me about it. That's why I'm giving it a 7. It's something that I already know the story about, and it just played it out in Doctor Who. That's all.
Okay, I think Alex is back. Alex, what do you give it out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, I really, I'd say it's probably, I'd probably say it's probably a 6.7 out of 10.
What an obscure number.
Yeah,
It deserves
I did enjoy it more than I thought I would, so.
It deserves its own special scale. It's the bong rip scale, and I say that you have to have about 2.5 bong rips before you can actually stand to sit there through the whole episode without trying to find something else to do.
Okay.
Hey, do something else. Don't watch Doctor Who, man.
Next.
Okay, let's go to Carol Ann.
You guys probably guessed it from my review, but I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I just enjoyed everything about it. It had everything that I enjoy in a television show. It had the superheroes, the comedy. It had a couple of little dramatic sad moments. When they were referring to River Song and the 24 years that the Doctor spent with River, and then all of a sudden River's gone and he's in mourning, and I just loved everything about it, and I really believe, in my opinion, it's the best Christmas special out of all the other ones. So.
Okay, Jason.
Well, Doctor Who's Doctor Who. It's random what you expect. It's funny. I enjoyed it. I did not waste an hour of watching it. I would watch it again if I wanted to. And if anything, if Steve Moffat or the next producer has to make some enemies, makes Anthony and Bill as the enemy. Anyways, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay, William.
I'm going to give this a 7.5. It's a good tribute to, we were talking about superheroes and the comic books, and nice to see the art of John Byrne and Capaldi and Matt Lucas acting was great. And the thing is, this episode cheered me up because I watched this after hearing what happened to George Michael yesterday. So that's why I gave it 7.5. It was a good, pain reliever for me.
All right, AJ.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It was a very good episode. Nana was funny, and it was a good birthday present. So, yeah, it was cool.
All right, and Sammy?
I will give it a 9. A 9. It was a festive story. It was fun. It was cool for me, and I enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I really enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of surprises. I thought it was a very entertaining, lighthearted story. And and also, guys, look at the bright side. The antenna at the beginning is going to fix all that timey-wimey shit that went wrong with New York.
Yes.
Indeed, yeah.
That's what that was about. I think
Yes. So for everybody who says that he doesn't go and fix things, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Okay, wait a minute. It won't fix things because the crystal that runs the thing is inside the kid.
Yeah, now it won't, though, but that's what he was building it for.
Yeah. And there's another 4 crystals.
I'm sure he'll find another Energizer. He'll find an Energizer battery or Duracell to ram it.
You can just put Mr. Waffles in the way he goes,
Mr. Huffle.
The Huffles, yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick glance at the Series 10 trailer real quick. Here we go. Wham, let's start here. Okay, this is out of episode 1, by the way. This is out of Star and Arai, this image.
It's
That's Philip when he doesn't get his big finish.
Oh,
Sounds about right.
A lot of people find this very reminiscent of Waters of Mars. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Because also we got this.
Complain when it has nothing to do with Waters of Mars, and they'll give them something to bitch about.
I thought it was very reminiscent of it, though. Like I said, the water thing. But then you have this little scene right here. And by the way, there he is. Nardole. Okay.
Nardole. That reminds me of Vulcan, though, from the Power of the Daleks. Which is the way
Now, if it's not, are you going to run and scream?
No. Shut up. I didn't say that. I just saying that just the thing. It just looked very Vulcanized.
It does, though. It's the overhanging rocky things, right, Phil?
Yeah.
And this is also out of episode 1. And I discussed in my last video, Elijah had caught this, that, these are very, very obvious.
James, bitch.
It's the Movellans.
Yeah, the Movellans, yes. Yeah. So it looks like it's more than likely just going to be like a bit part thing. I don't think it's going to be anything major.
I don't think so either.
I think it might be right. It might be a story.
So if that's for episode 1, you're not going to have a full-scale war when you're introducing a companion.
You know how they condense Doctor Who into 45 minutes. They can do that quite easily.
Episode 1 will be an hour, Phil.
Yeah,
at least an hour then. They'll give me an hour of Villains and Daleks.
Darn, I went back to the wrong folder. Okay, let's check out Zap through here real quick.
That gives you that.
Now we have Frank Cottrell Boyce's episode.
Oh, God.
And I hit the wrong button. Ha, 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 ha. That happens. All right.
So it's the emoji one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Emoji.
The emoji box.
They remind me of the robots from the one when Amy got injected.
Yeah, the hand jobs. Oops, I mean the hand bots.
Well, they've been like overweight stormtroopers.
Have a nice day.
Really stoned, overweight stormtroopers.
They do look pregnant. Oh, pregnant robots. Oh.
Is that even possible?
Emperor Palpatine brings you greetings.
So what is it they do? They do what these emoji? What's their?
We don't know.
That's a good story.
They're smiling because they know that you're going to die.
And this is, like I said, I'm going based off Gurley letters from Twitter. He said this is also episode 2.
Nice.
So we have no idea what's going on in here. It looks like Phillips like Big Finish Vault. Look at that.
It is.
Could that be Archive?
We don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
That scene we saw filmed in blah blah blah. Not much going
That's
on.
Bristol.
Oh.
This is
That's
our
the one in that forum place, isn't it?
That kind of looks like the one.
Oh yeah, like they had the Instagram pic of them out in that field. So there you go.
That's in the Olympic Park.
Could be an amusement park. Maybe that's where they're from.
The Olympic Park. In Sydney.
That could be a Movellan spaceship.
That's possible too.
Let's go.
Damn you! I hit the wrong
Remember
button.
how they
Oh, yeah.
functioned when we saw them before? That's exactly what they did. They looked like buildings in the ground.
And these are out of episode 3.
That's the one under the Thames, isn't it? With the
This is some kind of diving gear, and they're looking for something under the Thames.
Nice. They're gonna find the Loch Ness monster again.
There's the diving gear.
Not the Thames, Asia.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, you know, the Zygons.
Ice Warriors.
I have no idea who this guy is, but he's there. All right.
He's kind of famous, apparently. But there you go. Right.
Yeah, no one knows who he is. Go figure.
That's a good
That's, like,
shot.
that's kind of like Vanity Fair. You know, the frost fairs and all that.
I know a magazine.
1800s, yeah.
Yeah.
Could that be during the time of the plague or something like that? Or
No.
It's a bit after that.
Oh, after.
It's like 1890s.
Maybe a throwback to that steampunk episode.
That's a possibility. Oh, also, what about the Penn and Oster gang?
No, this is
like
supposedly
started.
not in the what you call it, same era. Apparently, that's what they've said. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
breaking through the ice. It's nice. All right.
With rice.
The trailer was basically the first 5 episodes, wasn't it? Or was it 4?
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
First 5.
There's a possible glimmer at episode 6.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
Okay, this is out of episode 4. That's what we're looking there.
Are they the water creatures from that Christmas episode?
We don't know.
That looks like classic era special effects right there.
It looks like the face of Bo.
Oh.
Barrowman?
Barrowman.
Actually, female. This is the face of Bo's disenchanted cousin, the face of Ho.
Is this the one with David Sushi?
Otherwise known as the face of Lehigh Acres.
With this fella right here, who I can't remember his name to save my life, unfortunately, but very.
That's David.
Yes, David Poirot.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
No, I said Hercule Poirot.
I just remember he plays Poirot at one time.
Yeah.
David Suchet.
Yeah.
I wonder if it. No, you can't be. Anyway.
David Poirot.
Right.
Well, they went back to class.
Allegedly, Graham has been spotted as possibly being in the cast list for one of the episodes. I'll believe it when I actually freaking see it, all right?
Maybe the doctor needs his leg to build something.
Okay, out of episode 5, we got a bunch.
Talk about ramming him in.
Oh, God.
We got this fella here.
Ooh, the blue guy.
Blue Man Group making an appearance on the BBC.
I really love Blue Aliens. I'm a fan. This is going to be great.
That's molded by a skinnier brother, man.
That's the result of extreme blue balls.
You know what I think he's saying at this point? No, I do not have a tail, and no, I'm not from them freaking Avatar movies.
Or he's like humming la 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 la.
Well, this guy looks pissed off. Yeah.
And this one, they're wearing spacesuits.
Could be a standard base under siege type story, this one, you know.
Yeah. Well, actually, it looks like a slightly modified colored version of the Babylon 5 Star Fury suits.
Oh,
yeah, those remind
like the other suits.
And I know that the BBC got a hold of a lot of their old
props
and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're confident that these are spacesuits and not mining suits or anything like that?
They kind of look like spacesuits, but like I said, we're not know for sure. I just going by the fact that there's a ring here that's obvious.
Yeah, a self-atmospheric suit, most likely, some kind.
Yeah.
Could be
Well, they're
space,
not-
could be water. You know,
check
look
out
right
that
up,
helmet
still
here.
sticking up. You know, so the helmet must be pretty good size.
Yeah, check out the helmet
They're
there.
not reusing these suits from the other one, remember? The 10th and the other episode? 10th?
Yeah, that diving suit was standard Navy diving suit Mark 1, Mark 2 from World War II.
Driving there, but I can't make it out.
Okay.
There is some kind of logo here, but I can't make it quite out. But
you must have a lot of trouble getting the hair into that helmet.
Yeah, but if you look in this picture, it definitely looks like it was a suit from somewhere else that they modified, cut out that chest piece a little bit. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just aged up a little bit. So yeah, this might actually be a B5 set piece that they outfit they had.
Nardo.
He's got the
Is he really that fat with such a little head? Because that makes it look huge.
He's just like the Goomba at the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay, and there's only one more that I do have, and
I've got a question. Is Paul Markey's hairstyle going to alternate as much as Peter Capaldi's dress code?
Yeah. We've seen different variants of it across the filming pics, so it does change.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to ask you. It was just a question I was throwing out there. You know.
For that suit, she could get one of those big fro helmets like they had in Terminus.
Right, the sunglasses are back.
I'm so sorry. I lost your guitar. Yeah.
Is that a priest or some kind of religious figure?
Yeah, it looks like a modified Catholic outfit. So maybe the church, that church from back in the day. What was
He's the monk. It's the meddling monk.
No, don't stop.
Don't stop.
Totally, it's the meddling monk all over again.
No, it could be exactly who it is. Nobody expects the Spanish.
Listen, I was thinking
that. But look in the back. Look in the back there.
Yeah, look at all those people.
The meddling monk.
My question is, they could be signature figures. They could be, somebody of importance.
No,
and most likely they'll just be, side characters that you'll see for one scene.
No, the thing is,
yeah.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
No, the thing is, when you go back and watch this part in the trailer, some people have actually speculated the reason why he's wearing the glasses and all that because of the way he's moving. It's almost like maybe he's blind.
And it almost looks like somebody's hanging in the background.
If he went blind, he would just regenerate.
Oh.
No, there's somebody standing on the platform looking at one of the alcoves there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the hanging munchkin.
And maybe
is that the Pope over there in the white?
That one would be Seagal, but that one right there might be Pope.
It's Mavic Chen.
I'm sure the Catholic Church would have commissioned that, Phil. Yeah.
And sadly, no, there is no sign of Father Guido Sarducci.
But those aren't blind glasses. Those are Sonic sunglasses.
No, the Sonic sunglasses went with Clara.
Yep. Yeah, but he's got another pair. Obviously, he must have another pair. Looking around.
He could have another pair.
The TARDIS makes them.
The thing is, they were not well received. I don't see him bringing them back really.
Says who? Who said they didn't receive?
A lot of people were pissed.
Well, you know what?
Received.
Well, this episode was not well received, and we're still going to get more Doctor Who. So
by two people.
Now, let me throw you this out there. You want them to cancel the show?
No, I want them to maybe go back to pre-Davies, pre-Moffat era.
Then you have to cancel the show because they're not going to do it.
Oh, I know they're not going to do that, but they definitely to go back to their old ideology and stay away from the American ideology of making.
If you go back to serials, you might as well cancel the show.
Why?
It will not. What planet are you on? This is the year 2016, not 1966.
No, I know, but
programming does not work in the 21st century. It doesn't.
You don't know that until you try it.
There are very few serial series that actually last. A lot of the good cable production series do, but come on, try doing that on a BBC budget.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very tough to do. I mean, the mindset and look, flashing lights. Oh, there's a penny on the ground. Oh, I just farted. Mindset of society today. Anything more than 2 or 3 episode story arcs are very hard to get by, even on popular American shows that are on 22, 23 episodes a year.
There are very popular series that tell stories like Game of Thrones, Westworld and all that, but they have 1 hour plus blocks of time to do that.
Luke Cage.
Yeah, you can't do 25-minute serials anymore and get away with it. It's not going to work.
25 minutes, though. Not
Well, to be fair,
That's,
Ash got away with it, but that's a whole nother
Yeah,
thing.
but that's a whole different genre. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still the American.
I just started watching
That's
Ash.
still the American mindset, the American mentality of making television.
If I could just make a point about the trailer that was interesting that you were talking about. I like the way they edited all of her bits together, so it seems like she's always asking questions.
Yeah, I love that.
And it made her a bit like in the way she said professor. And you know what? I'm guessing, because here's the thing: when you saw that bit with the chips, you're like, oh, chip girl. Oh, how sad. But I bet you anything she's a college student. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I bet you she's a student. She's somebody that's cool. She's not just gonna happy to be a chippy, you know.
Right.
But
maybe that's her side job while at school.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of funny if that's the case, and they're going from one extreme with Dr. Clara to, the other extreme with doesn't have a clue about anything sciencey. That would be
what I liked about was she was just the way they kept throwing her questions out there, like as if she was just. I know it's all in the editing, but it was just like, what's this? She called him professor as well, so she does that.
If you're in science in uni, you will still ask the questions because you won't know the answers, and you'll ask the questions because you've been taught how to learn.
Yeah.
And so these students like Bill. And I love that her last name is Potts. That's really awesome. She's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, as long as they don't throw in any tacky Iron Man references, that'll be nice.
No, as long as it's before it's all said and done, it's not a tale of all this time. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
I liked how when I was looking at the little trailer for her, I was like, I'm getting a feel of Ace for her. Like I'm getting
one word, really? Okay.
No, I feel like she's.
I mean, have you seen her jacket? She got some badges on there.
Well, no, not the badges. That really, I'm just feeling that from her when she's looking at the alien. She's like, "Oh crap, what are you?" I was like, "Oh, honey, okay." And it's like, "This is like a kitchen." I was like, "A kitchen."
I kind of got more of a Sarah Jane feel when Sarah Jane first started. Questions.
Now, from what we've seen from the filming locations and all that, like I said, I think she is a student and all that because they have this quote unquote university they keep going back to in filming. So, and also the doctor apparently is going to show up as a lecturer and blah blah blah. And, I did like the fact, but then again, the professor reference was blasphemy against classic Who.
No, it wasn't.
I'm like kidding. Shit.
Somebody somewhere about writing that. Don't worry.
Exactly. I'm kind of mocking it.
Well, her first impression of him was he's this teacher, professor, whatever kind of thingy that I have to put up with or something. So I'm wondering if that's how it's going to happen. Like she's going to wander in or something. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed from what I've seen, just in that 2-minute clip, that she looks really cool. She looks like she's going to be a good companion.
Why am I getting visions of Nardo as a janitor?
Here's a question for you, Freedom.
Nardo. All right, we got a question.
Yeah, have you heard any announcement from the BBC concerning whether this is Capaldi's last season?
Here we go again.
Or the premiere date of the 10th season?
No, yeah. Here's the funniest part. I confronted Emergency Awesome in his own comment box because he blatantly stated in his latest news update that this is Capaldi's last series and that he's leaving. And I'm like, oh, really? That's funny, considering I haven't seen a BBC statement, nor have I seen a statement from Peter Capaldi stating that he is leaving. Yet here you are throwing out pure speculation as data. It's like, how do you call that news? And sure enough, I got jumped on by Eddie. It's from frickin' Scaro and everybody else because I said that. And I'm like, fine then. What you're telling me is you might as well just go take a frickin' job at the fucking Mirror because they must be the most brilliant journalists yet because they've been predicting he's been leaving for going on 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
it's a case.
Charlie screws up a lot, and never corrects himself, which is kind of shitty, but
Let me finish my thought here. It's a classic case of they're all hoping to be the broken fucking clock that's right twice a day. And if they keep saying it, oh, look, sooner or later it's going to be true. Oh, my God, I'm the messiah of the frickin' media. I predicted it. Well, I got some Nostra dumbasses until we get a statement from the quality of the BBC. He's not leaving as yet.
They thought Series 8 was going to be his last.
No, I remember back when them fucktards were saying he was going to be a 1-season doctor.
Yeah, I admit I did not like Capaldi at first, but he's kind of grown on me, like like a bad rash that you start enjoying. Because some of it's not his vocabulary, the lines, how he reads them. It's more his facial expressions and how he reacts to situations that are enjoyable to me, more so than the storylines that he's been stuck with. So, I mean, I do hope he goes on at least one, maybe two more seasons. I would like to see him with another showrunner, how he goes with another showrunner, and with some better writing, personally.
Yeah, all right. Very true. Like I said, I don't see Capaldi, leaving. In my mind, I don't want to see him leaving, but you have to face the fact that, yes, he's, 50-something years old. He has had a knee injury problem because it's the same knee injury that Matt Smith had. But at the same time, he is, maybe want to move on. We don't know.
Well, let us also remember that Morris himself compared him to Tom Baker.
Yeah. According to Peter Capaldi, though, he'd love to be the Doctor forever if he can.
I think he was that kind of fanboy when he was a kid. So yeah, let's do it.
And from all the reports, he's one of the most outgoing doctors there are. You see him on the side of the street, and he's got no problems with you getting a selfie with him.
Yeah, he even managed to let Stephen Price come near him. Come on.
A couple of times.
He'll do it as long as he wants to. I hope that's the case. I hope he's not getting pushed out because of any stupid so-called fan pressure. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think he's just had pretty much a big break from it anyway, hasn't he? As far as this last year is concerned, he did get some time off. So hopefully he'll do another year. Hopefully he'll do at least 1 year with Chibi before he decides to hang up his hat.
And Stephen Price has not met Capaldi. Well, he's met Capaldi.
Oh my goodness.
He hasn't got a photo with him.
Imitation of the eyebrows.
It's like the master saying, "At last, I have him."
And I would really like to see Capaldi stay for season 10 and season 11, because if you think about it, we have not had a Doctor stay past 3 seasons. I mean, yeah, Tennant was 3 seasons plus those specials, but not a full season. So it would be so nice if we finally got a Doctor that was 4 complete seasons. So, and he grew on me. I mean, I had a hard time because Matt Smith was my favorite. That's when Eccleston got me interested. Tennant got me hooked. Smith got me addicted, and then when Capaldi came, it was really hard, but after last season, I really enjoy him, and it would be so nice if he stuck around. So, until I hear officially from the horse's mouth or from the BBC, all these other people that are shooting their mouths are just full of it,
Wouldn't it be cinematic if he goes out on season 12?
I would, I'd love for him to hear. We just need somebody to finally buck this 3 years and out trend bullshit. We really do.
I'd like to
say it's gonna last long till series 15.
Yeah. Okay, well, everybody, we've gone on for quite a bit now. We've already rated the episode. We've taken a look at the Series 10 trailer. All I can say is, look, like I said, the latest theory, and let me stress that in capital letters, the size of about Mount Rushmore, theory is April 15th.
Okay.
That's good.
So that's the latest theory. All right.
Well, that's tax day in the States, so yeah, let's hope so. That'll be something nice for the Americans.
Yeah, that'll be also the Easter weekend. So until then, that's when we'll finally get a chance to look at another episode of Doctor Who, apparently. So next time, whatever we review, everybody take care. I hope you have had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a very Happy New Year.
And this is officially a video, so you have to give it lots and lots of likes and other views. Everybody come look at the cat getting petted.
Yes, share.
Fire the nuclear weapon.